Good afternoon. Welcome once again to the Glories of Hellenism. Today we're covering the period of the rest of the 19th century after Greece won its liberation and became a free state, and down to the present time. There were a lot of struggles of factions within the Greek new state, as is normally the case when you have a revolution and there are different factions, and once they win their freedom they still have differences internally among themselves. So during a good part of the 19th century we find those struggles going on in Greece. Great unification came in the next century when Eleftherios Venizelos came up from Crete, and he became the leader in 1912 and led them through the Balkan Wars, and considerably improved the conditions in Greece, and is considered today one of the great leaders of modern Greek history. And after that period we are approaching World War I, in which Greece played a considerable role by having the French and British come in through Salonika to move their troops up into the Vardar Valley to go in to oppose Germany during that war. And Greece gave a good account of itself. A lot of people were disappointed that Greece didn't receive enough satisfaction or reward, although she did gain back some of the islands that she had lost way before. And then during the period after the war, Greece had its problem with factions, which is normal for all countries that go through those kind of experiences. And pretty soon we come to another war period, unfortunately, in 1940. Now there, people are still talking, those who know history and like to look back on it and read it, they're still talking about the fantastic role that the Greeks played in 1940. In World War II, Germany had overrun all of Europe. England stood alone, and the situation looked very, very grim for the Allies. And the first victory over the Axis in World War II was won by Greece when it drove the Italians back into Albania and conquered a good part of it when Mussolini tried to invade Greece and suffered a bitter defeat. Now that not only gave a big boost to the morale of the Greeks who had fought so valiantly, but it gave encouragement and hope to all the Western Allies. And I'm sorry to say that that history is forgotten. There aren't too many people who remember that, but we as persons of Greek descent should remember it, and we should talk about it, and that's why we celebrate in a few days, October 28th, Ochi Day, when Metaxas, the leader of the Greeks at that time, in answer to Mussolini's demand that he surrender so Mussolini could march into Greece unopposed, issued his famous Ochi. So we have Ochi Day on October 28th, which we still celebrate proudly with observances all over, wherever Greeks congregate, all over the United States and different parts of the world. So that was a glorious, another glorious chapter in the glories of Hellenism that astounded the world. The Greeks didn't seem to have a chance. They were outnumbered. They didn't have tanks. They didn't have airplanes as much as the Italians did, and they performed a miracle. Now, what about Greece today? Let's take a look at what's happening today. Today, things are in great shape. They're improving all the time. The future prospects are good. Greece has friends everywhere. It's popular, a well-liked country. Its people are well-liked, and it's getting more and more visitors. And it's playing more and more of a role in international events. Probably the key point was it's becoming a member of the European Union in 1981. Very significant development. You don't just barge into the Union and say, I'm a member. You have to be voted in. You have to have the confidence of the other European countries that belong to it. And it's one of the most important developments in Europe since the end of World War II, the formation of that union, to keep the peace and to help each other with peaceful relations and trade and commerce and so forth. And Greece is now a strong and popular member of that union. Now, one of the highlights that we all look forward to in current Greek developments are its preparations for the Olympic Games in the year 2004. You remember there was a big campaign. In fact, I went to Tokyo personally to lobby without any official representation. Just an aside I want to tell you about, to lobby for the inclusion of Greece as a candidate for the Olympics in 1996, because 96 was the 100th anniversary of the revival of the modern Olympic Games, which took place in Greece in 1896. Unfortunately, we weren't able to persuade the committee, which met in Tokyo, that this would be a splendid time for Greece to hold the Olympics. But I think the committee felt sorry about that, and they made arrangements for Greece to get them as soon as possible thereafter. So the second time around, after 96, Greece will be the host for the Olympic Games in the year 2004. I personally hope to still be around and hope to attend. And I recommend to all of you that you go to Greece for the Olympics. And on that happy note, I bid you a good day and look forward to being with you again next time.